Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and we have a wonderful show for you today. I almost fucked up my own entry. Fuck, I'm not talking anymore. Hi, Jack. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, apparently tongue-tied. Jesus fuck. Y'all know what I meant. Fuck. Least professional monkey on the internet. That is a guarantee. I fell down the stairs again, Jack. I'm in a lot of pain. But that's what I'm blaming this on. I jostled my brain a little bit. That's my new excuse. But otherwise I'm well. Did you have a good day, man?
It was okay. I slept a lot of it.
Me too. I didn't wake up till 4:30 yesterday. And got up, went hung out with the Ghost Poo guys for a little bit, and then my daughter and little butt showed up, so I got to hang out with them a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then the whole falling down the stairs thing happened. I laid down in bed and passed out, and actually was late to Lords of the Night. Oops, sorry. Pink Hollow says you sound better. I have some drugs in me. Speaking of which, I need to get a few more in me. Hope you're okay, Monkey. I am. I mostly banged up my left side, but the only really bad part was I hit pretty hard, so it jostled my whole body and made my neck kind of fucked up. Rebecca asked, do you have chronic pain? Yeah, I do. I had a nice spinal cord injury. We talked about that a lot last night. We're gonna skip that tonight. God damn it, give me my medicine. Oh shit, that's too much. I'm not trying to end all feeling, just Ranting Monkey OD'd on stream. Yeah, that'd be great. Anyway, hi guys. Hi everybody. Hope you're well. Hello, Nuts. Anyway.
Hey, Stargazer.
So we're not going to war, at least not yet. That was a nice thing to wake up to this afternoon. Apparently we were 10 minutes away from bombing the shit out of Iran over the what's it called? A drone that was shot down. $100 million drone, $200 million drone. I forget how much because they keep changing it depending on which article I read. But they shot it down. Iran claims it was over their territory. We say it was over the Straits of Hormuz. And it doesn't matter. They were about to blow shit up. And according to every version we've heard, real close to when they were about to pull the trigger, Donald Trump said, how many people are going to die? And he was told 150. And he went, no. And there are people pissed off about that. There are people pissed off that the president was like, you know what? Killing 150 people over a chunk of metal is probably not a good trade.
Well, I understand proportional response, but at the same time, sometimes you got to send a message that we're not fucking around.
You know what? And I think the story of this sends that message. I think the story of this, it's like, look, we were about to bomb the fuck out of you. Fuck around again, and we're going to do it.
See, if they're lucky I'm not in charge because I'd have been like 150. That's it? No. No, I want 2,000. You wipe entire towns out.
Oh, Rebecca says my husband's over in that area. I'm kind of freaking out. I remember mom being that way. Ironically, over Iran. Well, not really ironically. Coincidentally, over Iran. Iran, however you say it. Iran.
That's what they're going to be doing when we're done with them.
Yeah, my dad was over there when they had mined the Gulf.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a long time ago.
It was, yeah. They the helicopters they used to get the mines out of the water actually flew off my dad's ship.
Oh wow.
Yeah. LPH, they're the LPHs at the time. I think they retired all of them, but it was the Guadalcanal. The helicopter ship. It's a support ship for the carriers. So yeah, they would go drag them with giant fucking nets. Man, it was interesting. Ironically,
horrible.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Oh, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, your mission is to go drag the water with a helicopter. Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah.
No, Rebecca, you shouldn't freak out. It'll be fine. Our military is the most powerful in the history of the world.
Yeah, history of forever.
Yeah. They don't stand a chance if there's a real fight, and they know it.
I am glad we didn't go to war over this. I really am, because this could escalate to really horrible degrees. But Iran, whatever the fuck you want to call these idiots, stop it. Because the next time, I think they will. They'll pull the trigger. And with Russia and China being on their side, this could turn into something horrible. So let's
Yeah.
not let that happen, dickheads.
They're dumb enough and they're influential enough they could start. They would drag it into a big war.
Yep.
Unlike some of these other little incidents we've been in, like where we sent people to like the Congo and stuff like that as advisors. This would actually end up being a big deal.
Yes, it would.
And I don't think China would get involved. They rely on us too much for goods and services that they would probably stay out of it. But Russia would probably jump in if it looked like they were going to lose because they need Iran as a business partner.
Fussy says, "Damn it, monkey! Now I've got Flock of Seagulls on my mind. Sorry about that." And I ran
She
so
said,
far away.
Rebecca said it's his 9th deployment in 19 years.
Mm.
That sucks.
Yeah, my dad was in for what did he pull? 20, I think he did 23. And I don't think he was home. Yeah, he was out to sea at least 6 months out of every year, except for when he was on recruiting duty. And that was only 2 years.
Well, we're hoping he stays safe out there, Rebecca.
Yeah, I really do. I hope everything. I understand. I really do. But try to relax. Try to realize that. Yeah, if they fuck with us, we will blow them the fuck up.
Yeah, they're already living in just above the Stone Age, and they'll be a lot lower than that by the time we're done. So,
hey, we saw this in Iraq, and whether or not you agree with the Iraq War, that's not what I'm arguing about here. But if you remember going into the Iraq War, there was a lot of talk about the Republican Guard and how great they were.
Yeah,
how great they were, and how it was going to be a problem. And we were like, and they were gone.
Oh man, you remember in the first Gulf War they were just surrendering to like reporters and stuff?
Yes. Please, I don't want to fight. What happened in Iraq, the reason that ended up taking so long and being such a pain in the ass was the insurgents. It wasn't the Republican Guard. It wasn't their main military force. But we keep hearing about Iran is that they have, this good military. Like, you know what? Compared to the rest of the world, maybe they do. Compared to, say, North Korea, even China, maybe compared to them, they have a decent military. Compared to us, are you kidding?
Dude, we have stuff sitting in a junkyard that's better than what they got. I mean, their Navy's a joke. And didn't we obliterate their entire Navy back in the 80s?
Yeah, that's why. If you remember with the bombings of the 2 tankers recently, whether it was mines or torpedoes, whatever it was, they have the picture of the Iranian boat trying to pull mines off of something, and it's just this little fucking dinghy boat. It's a raft. It's a fucking raft. That's their Navy, man.
That reminds me of the pickup truck war where they were using like 50 calibers riveted to pickup trucks in like Mogadishu or somewhere. Yeah, and they're trying to go up against like our Blackhawks. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't want a war, but if it happens, I'm fairly certain we'll be okay. I don't think even Russia and China would want to get in. They'd be like, please stop. You're wrong. I don't think they'd actually spark anything.
I hope not. It'd be mostly bluster. I think the Russians would probably slip them some material and weapons, but Iran's already spent a lot of that money that Obama gave them on
Oh
various
yeah. Oh yeah.
terror cells and whatnot. Plus, they have all these little outposts everywhere. That's probably what we're going to end up doing is like blowing up some of those.
Faithless in chat says Iran gets bombed into the Stone Age, making their greatest cultural advancement ever. Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Brings them forward. Um,
Like Peter said, even we could destroy Iran.
yeah.
Yeah. Look, the Australians do it. They're meaner than we are.
The real danger over there is that we would bomb Iran, Iran would bomb Israel, and Israel's just like, no fucking around, and then shit gets bad.
Yeah, Israel will nuke them. That's all there is to it.
Yes, they'd be like, you know what? Fuck it, we're done with you people.
Yeah, they've played the proportional response game in the past, and they don't do that crap. They know how to deal with various savageries that go on in places like that. So they're done being threatened, I think. So
yeah, and Iran, seriously, you got away with one, let it go before we bomb the fuck out of you. I am glad it happened, and it was amazing to see how many people. Where's this? I want to bring up this one tweet from Bill Crystal. You guys don't know who he is. He's a dick, a neocon dick. One of the people who really cheered on the Iran war or the Iraq war. Sorry. Where the fuck is this? Where are you at, you dick? There it is. So Trump tweeted out. This is actually in response to the tweet that Trump said. He asked. They were just about to go, 10 minutes to go. He asked how many people were going to die. And when he heard, he said, never mind. And this is how Bill Crystal responded to that. He's held the office of president for 2.5 years. He has no idea how to behave as president of the United States. He has no idea how to be president of the United States. So I wonder with Mr. Crystal, how many, what would be the death toll where Crystal would go, you know what? It was just a drone. Is it 200, 1,000, 25 million? I mean, how many people have to die before you go, it was just a drone. Maybe we shouldn't do that.
Well, a lot of these warmonger types are never happy. But
yeah,
like I said, if it were me, I'd send a message real fast because I'd carry a giant stick and I'd like to blow stuff up. So that's why I'm not in charge of things, because I would destroy everything. We'd be in World War III in 15 minutes. Italy pissed me off today. Blow up Rome, you know?
Nice. No, I get that. And again, I'm not happy they blew up our drone, and any more shit from them, like, fine, fuck it. Take out their airports for all I fucking care. Hit the nuke sites we know they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, just definitely send them a message, but let's just calm down a little bit right now.
Yeah, and Trump gave them the total face-saving opportunity where he said it could have been a rogue commander and it could have been a mistake.
Yep.
And he said it like 3 or 4 times now, and that's the perfect opportunity for them to be like, look, this guy over here did this. We didn't tell him to do it. He boo-booed. Let's just everybody take a breather. But
yeah,
they haven't taken that so far.
No, they haven't, and they really might. They really should think about it. They really should calm their fucking asses down.
From what I'm understanding from the analysis of it, because I've been following this pretty closely, is that they blew a lot of that money that Obama gave them on various things attacking Israel, whatnot. Sure. And but the economic sanctions when we pulled out of that deal screwed up their entire plan, and they didn't have a backup plan for if the sanctions were put back in place. So it's hurting their economy quite a bit, and they think that they can rally their people a little bit with some anti-American anger, and that's what they were kind of going for, and they didn't expect, any kind of actual response. So they might actually be shitting their pants a little bit, like, oh, took a step too far there.
Peter says, are we even sure they can enrich uranium, or is it another case of they have WMDs? I don't know if we know for sure they can. We know for sure they are trying. That's why we gave them a what was it 1.5 billion? I can't remember the amount.
It was something ridiculous like
on
that.
pallets.
Yeah. Pallets of cash. That's genius.
Unmarked and non-sequential bills, please. Just drop it off over on the corner.
From what I read online, and take that for what you will from reporters these days, they got some heavy water from Russia or from North Korea.
Yeah.
So they have some heavy water, so they probably could make weapons grade uranium eventually, because it's really just kind of a process. And once you can enrich it for like nuclear power plants, it's not that hard to enrich it past that to weapons grade to make layer cake. So they probably can make it, but they're a little ways out from that. But with the stupid deal that Obama entered with them, it would give them the time to do that in secret and make a handful of nuclear weapons. Plus, I'd be willing to bet they're buying a lot of information from North Korea, and they're giving North Korea missile technology, which is what they're lacking, and they're getting either pre-made uranium or other components that they need.
Yep. And if they keep pissing us off, we're going to blow it the fuck up. Nut says, isn't that why they're pissed at us over cutting off their cash flow, or am I wrong? They're just pissed at us always. That I think that's what they're trying to, as Jack was talking about, rally their people under. But yeah, Trump did according to what he said, the worst thing he could have done to them, slap more sanctions on the fuckers. They need to calm the fuck down. But this isn't going to be the war show. I just thought that was an interesting thing that it was left and right. There were people on the left and right mad that we didn't blow up Iran.
Oh yeah, it's warmongers on every
what
side.
The fuck?
War is a great distraction for the people.
Indeed. Makes all your other shit go away. They're in their death throes as a nation and lashing out. You're probably not wrong about that, Faithless. They are broke as fuck. And hey, maybe start spending your money on food and shit instead of bomb making materials.
Yeah, you live in the damn desert.
Yeah, so fuck them. I want the title of this, Jack, is "Can't Make a Joke About That," and there's a reason. There's two stories. Well, one's a story and the other one's a tweet that went out today.
Oh, you're talking about that Canadian group, aren't you?
Canadian group? What?
Folklords?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, you go ahead and I'll fill you in when it comes up.
This is a tweet that Shuan had shared, and she did what she always did. She blocked the name of the person. And I went to look up the tweet, and I couldn't find this actual tweet. Anyway, I searched for it. So either they took it down or they've made it so you can't read their stuff. And I've been told that after this tweet, the person who made it got very apologetic about making it. But it says this: things you should never joke about: cancer, autism, 9/11, rape, animal abuse, disability, pedophilia, incest, LGBT, depression, Ebola, suicide, death, people of a different race. If you joke about these, please stop. It's not funny, and you're only being immature. I love that Ebola's on there.
Yeah, as an immature person, I now want to make jokes about black transgender people with Ebola.
And a disability who beat animals.
Yeah, beating disabled animals.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and claim that, one, that I've never joked about those. Two, that sometimes they've been very, very immature jokes. But I will say this: fuck you if you think you're going to tell me what I can and cannot joke about.
Right.
You ain't my real mom. Bear responded to that tweet directly at Ranting Monkey. I'll have to look it up and see if I can find it. But who the fuck do you think you are? Who the fuck? Star says, what will Shio joke about now? Actually, Shio, he made the joke in response to this They didn't say anything about necrophilia. Hello, Geo. It was some furry that made it. I saw it yesterday. Says Jaeger Pony. I'm not surprised. I'm not. Who cares if a joke is immature? There can be funny immature jokes. What's wrong with an immature joke?
As an immature person, absolutely nothing.
It's fucking stupid. Now, I want to talk about the other story too, and then we can talk about them in general, and then you can tell me if what you were talking about is related at all. You can even bring it up right after you do this. Jimmy Carr, you know who he is?
Nope.
Dude, you got to watch. Check out Jimmy Carr sometime. Jimmy Carr is a comedian who tells incredibly off-color jokes. Very, very bad stuff. But they're funny as shit. He's in trouble right now with midgets.
Well, that's like a half problem.
Right. Midgets are mad at him because he tells a joke. What's the joke? Are midgets people who survived abortion? I think was the joke.
I like him already. It sounds
Yeah.
like my kind of people.
And there's a midget group. It's a small group that I had to. I had to. That's a cheap joke, but I had to. Anyway, they're mad that he made that joke, and they think he should rethink telling it.
What are they gonna do?
We're gonna beat you up.
Are they gonna be standing on each other's shoulders wearing a trench coat? With their little midget arms trying to punch him?
I just, who the fuck do you think you are to tell people what they can and can't joke about?
It's the way of the world now. Is a bunch of people think they're the fun police.
And I really want to talk about this because they don't call them midgets. Only when they're quoting Jimmy, right? They call them little people. And
no.
I have
Go
ahead.
No.
Oh, well, I was gonna say I have a problem with the term little people. To me, that is far more insulting than midget.
Absolutely. It's infantilizing.
It's having to remind people constantly that you are people.
Yeah. Not only are you a person, you're tiny. So it's twice as condescending. Little people used to be a term you talked about kids. Look at all those little people over there. You didn't talk about midgets like that. Midget was just a classification word. Little people is also a term that used to be used for fairy folk. So you're in some ways saying these are supernatural beings.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're allowed to call them dwarves.
Yeah, also a supernatural being.
Yeah. Like, where's your beard and all your gold, and why aren't you living under a mountain? Thank you, James Colley, who says they need to grow up, build their toothpick bridge, and get the fuck over it. Oh my god.
No,
with little people, I'm not sure you can make that joke. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had a buddy that used to live across the street from a midget family, and having them walk their kid, like their little toddler, was adorable because it was so tiny. But I used to make the joke that I was going to run over there and grab the dad and demand his pot of gold. But and I thought that was hilarious. Now, his wife did not find it nearly as funny as I did.
That's funny as shit.
That's what I said. And he would giggle and then see his wife, and he'd then scowl at me and be like, "That's not okay, Jack.
That's not funny, Jack."
Yeah, but everybody else thought it was hilarious. So she eventually stopped inviting me over. Like, she's like, "No, you can't have that guy over. He's an asshole." Well, the joke was on her because she decided that she's a Wiccan, pagan, lesbian, and it went in that order. First, she became a Wiccan, then she became a vegan, and then she became a lesbian.
Peter says not all midgets are dwarves. I learned that from Little Women LA. Yeah, not dwarvism is a specific disorder.
Yeah, that's where they have like the big bonk forehead and There are proportionally just small people. I dated one of those. She was 4'8".
Man,
Right around there.
proportionate midget women. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was cute too. And she was older than me too. She was a professor. So it was kind of hot.
Let's see. This group that is upset with Carr, they were formed by, was it Warwick Davis? Is that his name?
Yeah, yeah.
The little midget from Star Wars.
Yeah,
Um,
Willow, yeah.
yeah. Little People UK co-founded and headed by Star Wars actor Davis and his wife Samantha, was incensed by Carr and contacted his agents to complain. The charity, which supports people with dwarvism, said it took action after staff received message from people with the condition who were offended by the jibe. In a statement, it said, people with dwarvism simply want to live their lives just like everyone else, going to school, shopping, walking down the street, going to work, sometimes in highly respected professions. To potentially hear a member of the public repeat such a comment after seeing a stand-up show can affect them for life. Hearing somebody retell a joke is going to affect them for the rest of their little lives.
Which are shorter than normal. Not being funny, the pun was intended, but
indeed, but
they don't live very long. Now,
let me read it. Let me get to the rest of the statement here. This causes unnecessary distress and anxiety through no fault of the person with dwarvism, simply because they have a genetic difference. Additionally, we consider the parents of people with dwarvism, about 80% of the people with dwarvism born to the average height parents as a result of spontaneous genetic mutation. Anyone can have a child with dwarvism. For parents, particularly new parents, to hear such jokes about their child can have long-lasting effects.
Yeah, don't be a pussy.
Yeah. Fuck off, man. People get made fun of for all kinds of things. What about somebody with a big Jewish nose or hairy ass Italian women? Come on, man.
Yeah, if you have something about you that's distinctive and doesn't look like other people in the area, it's going to be made fun of or commented on. You have to have a thicker skin. People are such hypersensitive pussies now. Grow up.
This is why you and I get along so well. Because I think that is probably the biggest problem we have right now, society-wide, when it comes to social interaction, is that these people are just such goddamn sassy. You shit. They have little tolerance. Oh, goddamn you. I was trying to have a rant there when you did that, woman. Oh, yeah, if there's a difference, like people are going to make fun of it. I got made fun of growing up because of my goddamn name.
Yep.
Fuck off. You need. I realize you have little skin, but it can toughen up. Didn't Willow play Yoda? He didn't do the voice for it. Frank Oz did Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda was a puppet. Yeah. No, Warwick Davis was one of the Ewoks, the one that Princess Leia hung out with.
Wicket.
Yeah. Yeah, he was Wicket. I think he played the Leprechaun, and he's been in a bunch of movies. He played Willow.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of working dwarves. I think he was in Time Bandits too, which was a great movie with almost an entirely midget cast.
I'm just tired of hearing people whine about this shit, especially when it's related to jokes.
Well, it's one of those things that any little thing that hurts somebody's fifis, now we got to have a petition, and it becomes a big outrage mob. You know what? Somebody is always going to be offended by something you say. It doesn't matter what it is, which is what I was trying to illustrate the other day when I was talking to that idiot that was bugging you. By saying that the word "the" is offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of where we're at. People just look for things to do. And if you're bored and live in a first world country where you don't have real problems, this is the type of shit they come up with.
Evil One sent me a video of Brad Williams. For those of you who don't know who Brad Williams is, he's a midget comedian. I'm aware of his work. Thank you for sending it to me. I only became aware of his work after being on Lords of the Night and telling people how much I love midgets. Suddenly, everybody sent that to me.
Is he funny?
Oh, he's funny as fuck, man. I'll throw the link into chat here. Yeah, he's quite hilarious. Paste. There we go. But yeah, he's really funny. Plus, he's a midget, so he's just funny to watch, to look at. I wish you'd run across the stage more. Midgets aren't funny unless you throw them. That's not true, Jeremy. Watch them run. Have you seen the midgets racing the camel?
Yeah. I sent you that one ages ago.
Yeah. Was it you? Okay. There's midgets racing camels. There's midgets racing all kinds of things. And it's great because I just love watching midgets run. It is one of the great joys of life. No. Their little arms, they can't bend, so they just wobble back and forth beside them. It's awesome. I fucking love it. But
now, go ahead. Would you want to watch them do an obstacle course?
I think it would be great to see them try to do like American Ninja.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It'd be American Dwarven Warrior.
Dwarf fight.
Yeah, they could throw in a Norse theme, maybe do some axe throwing or something.
Chuck E. Cheese says midget racing camels. Do camels run slow? No. It's just funny to watch. Look it up on YouTube. Midgets racing camels. I can't believe that's a thing. My eye hurts, man. I think I banged it on the wall when I was falling down the stairs.
Probably. Wait, did you hit a door? Is that what I'm hearing?
Lady Monkey got me again. No. It's actually the bone right above my eye. You know, your eye socket there, man.
Yeah. That's an easy bone to break. So you might want to, if it hurts for a few days, you might want to get it looked at.
Oh, damn. Anyway, back to the thing. We had this one person telling us what we can and cannot joke about. We have these midgets telling us we can't make midget jokes. We're not even supposed to call them midgets, by the way. That's offensive. Fuck you. There's far worse things I could call you than midget. Little piece of shit. It's not your business to tell other people what they can and can't joke about. If you don't like the joke, try this. Don't listen. Don't watch that show. Don't support that show. Don't support the people who do that. By all means, take your money and spend it elsewhere instead of on Jimmy Carr. The idea that somebody's going to hear a joke, a joke. That's what he said. It was one goddamn line. People can hear this and it's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. If that's true, those people need therapy. Lots of it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, we're raising such a petted culture of pussies.
Yep.
It's sad. It's not going to end well. It can't. You can't have people with this thin a skin running around for long periods of time.
I keep hoping. I keep hoping that at some point, you know, we're going to snap out of it. That at some point people are going to go, this is stupid. This is stupid. Why do you have your feelings hurt over this? Jen says sticks and stones ain't a thing anymore, folks. That's true. And it's a sad reality. For those of you who've never heard it, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And if you don't understand what that means, it means that words don't hurt. Tell Rebecca Ferry who Weibo is. Weibo's a creator on YouTube. Weibo Jones. One of my favorite finds. She's a sweetheart, very beautiful girl who has a great sense of humor. Very smart.
She's close to a midget.
She is close to a midget, yes. I actually, she one time filmed a video of herself running for me. Because she's a fucking midget, and I love midgets running. She's not a technical midget. She's really close. Her arms do bend. Yeah,
I threw a link to her channel in the live chat.
Speaking of links in chat, don't forget, guys, you can support the channel by hitting the little dollar sign down at the bottom if you don't hate YouTube. If you do, there's the not subscribe star. Nope, I don't have that. Streamlabs link that keeps going up now and then from our wonderful sweetheart Nuts. So support me or Jack if you can, and throw the link to your friends, because your friends want to know about us too. You know why? Because we're funny and we'll make fun of midgets. I probably that monetization, because we even said the word midget, is desperately gone. YouTube has no sense of humor, man.
No, they don't. A bunch of PC crybabies that pander.
Fucking pussy. Now, what was it you were going to talk about?
There was a thing on Vice Canada's Twitter about a so-called comedy duo called Folklords, FOLKLORDZ, and how they stay funny without being offensive. I just gave you the link in the side or the group chat there for the. It's a little 3-minute clip. They've got their own comedy sketch show about punching up, and Satsu had commented on it, and that's how I saw it. And I was like, that must be what Monkey's talking about. And no, you had something just even more annoying. But these guys are something else. They're not funny.
Well, of course not. If you limit your comedy like that, you're not going to be funny. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they're just not funny. They're not edgy. They think they're funny, which is worse, because people that think they're funny and come out and they're like, yeah, we're hilarious, they usually aren't.
Oh, yeah, like our atheist the other day who kept deciding he won. I love people who decide they win arguments.
Yeah, you don't get to decide that.
No. But yeah, let's talk about punching up for a minute, shall we?
Okay.
I never heard that term until I got to YouTube. And at the time, it was the people that Bering had made fun of, whining that he was punching down at them. And the idea was that Bering had such a large audience and they had such a small audience that it wasn't fair for him to talk about them at all, really, because that's punching down. In the general sense of punching down, guys, what that means is any oppressed group, if you make fun of them, you're punching down because they're oppressed. They're the smaller group. You should only punch up. You should only punch up. You should only make fun of cis-het white guys, which, by the way, is not true. If we're talking about punching up based on numbers and everything, women, there are far more women in the country than men. Well, not far more. It's like 51% to 49, some shit like that. So what we've learned here tonight is punch women.
Yeah, that's punching up for sure.
Punching up. Punch women if you want to punch up. The whole idea is fucking ridiculous. I can talk about anyone and anything I want to. I'll make fun of anything and anyone I want to. I don't give a shit how big or small you are, how big or small your movement is. Dumb is dumb. And if there's a joke to make, I'm going to make a fucking joke.
Yep. That's what gets me is it sort of makes it so that there are limitations on not only what you can say, but the very concept of thinking something's funny. And I don't know how you do that, because people are going to laugh. If you see somebody slip and fall in a mud puddle, you may giggle. And if it happens to be a midget, suddenly that's wrong. I don't understand.
Poppy says, when you punch across, that's normally where faces are. Well, what their metaphor here would be like you punching a child or punching a midget, because you punch down because they're too small. See? Which is fucking stupid too. Don't punch midgets and children.
Yeah,
punch women.
This is one of those things that's part of that power plus privilege nonsense.
Yeah.
Because you're more privileged and more powerful, so you're higher on the chart, and you're just punching down. This nonsense didn't exist like 10 years ago.
No, it didn't.
Because this is all new.
People weren't as pussified back then. Now, look, for the record, and ever since the greatest generation, since the folks who went through the Great Depression, we have slowly gotten more pussified over time, but we have ramped that the fuck up over the last decade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit. To the point, I mean, that article we read the other night about, if you want to be a good dad, you don't You don't do it yourself. You go play with your kids while somebody else is a man in your house.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of this shit started in the 70s and it really ramped up when we were in school with the participation awards and shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least where I went to school, that shit started right after I was leaving. That's when they started with the nobody wins the game. We're just going to go play it. And there was actually a really interesting study they found that they did on these when they would take kids to soccer, because they started really pushing soccer because that's a game played by pussies. Sorry, guys.
Poor people.
Pussies and poor people. They found out that even though the parents told them they were not keeping score, the kids still kept score. The kids still knew who won.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because they're like, haha, we beat your ass. But they're literally taught not to be competitive. They're taught not to be strong. They're taught not to be able to take a joke. Which is, what the fuck are you trying to raise?
A drone.
I see. I still think it goes back to the boys are broken girls. Because girls, I'm not being mean here. This is just, you guys seem to take things far more personally than we do. You guys hold on to that shit for life. Back in 2nd grade, little Becky said my hair was ugly. Like, you're 45. Let it go.
Yep.
Fucking
So I got bullied a lot as a kid. And you know what? I'm a grown-up now. I'm over it.
Yeah.
There's a time where you have to just put the past behind you and move forward. You can't move forward looking back. That's just not possible. Learn to cope with whatever disadvantages you have in life. Learn to get past it and move on and find things that are productive to do. You can't stand around looking at your belly button, playing with it, worrying about things that happened a long time ago. It's not helpful. It's not mentally safe. And you're not going to get anywhere in life doing that shit. We are raising a generation of neurotics.
Well, you said it just a moment ago. Learn to cope. They don't learn to cope. And that was probably, when it comes to socializing, that is the best thing about public schools. Because you go there and you learn to cope with the bullshit you're going to dealing with that many other people. That's why anytime what do you think of homeschool? I'm like, I mean, it might be good for the educational value, but you lose out on that socializing part, that learning to cope with that asshole who just won't stop making fun of you because you're poor or because your name is Francis or, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to cope, and they have no coping skills. None. That motherfucker literally said, hearing a joke repeated will fuck somebody up for life. Hearing it. Not even it being made at their expense directly. Just hearing it. It'd be...
Yeah, people are made of glass now. They're fragile little porcelain beings that will shatter at the slightest whim.
I call them Fabergé eggs. Hi, Polly.
You're not worth that much. Hey, Polly.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing quite well, actually.
Polly, if you make a joke about a midget and they hear it, it's going to fuck them up for life.
I thought you were doing some weird Zen koan. If you make a joke about a midget, but they don't hear it, do they actually get offended?
Well, actually, yes. Because the story we were talking about, they didn't actually hear the joke. Somebody else told them about it. That's true.
Trees fall in the woods do make sounds, and midgets do get offended. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these fucking people in there. You can't make a joke about that. Suck me right off. Start at the head and go all the way down till it's in the back of your throat with that.
Work the shaft.
Well, they're midgets, so they can't go that far.
I have a problem with people with no sense of humor trying to tell me what's funny. And I can tell you have no sense of humor when you say, if you make that joke, you're just being immature. Like, oh, you're one of those people. You're a douche. Homeschooling is not a solo thing. They do the teaching in groups. It depends, Scrappy. There, a lot of homeschooling is actually a solo thing, especially if you live in a place like where I do. And when you talk about the getting to interact with other people, it is not the same as being on the playground with 400 kids and 6 teachers trying to watch them all. It's just not the same. I've been through both, so I'm not just talking out of my ass or pretending I know. I've been there. They're completely different things. So, Polly, what were you up to today? Did you have a good day?
I had a pretty good day. I did a bunch of things online. I went and took care of a whole bunch of errands. I sent off some editing research that a friend wanted me to do for them. That wasn't part of my research contract, but I did it anyway. You know why? Because I'm a nice guy. That's why. I finished editing that video with Weebs and myself.
You're all done.
I'm all done. I don't know what I'm going to do with it though, because
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, so we had talked about like splitting it up, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I like that idea, 2 parts. But well, I didn't want to do like top 5 or 10 to 5 and then 10 to 6 and then 5 to 1, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Because I talk about, here's all the women that didn't make the list. Here's all these people in the Marvel MC universe, all these women that are relatively attractive, and lots of guys find them attractive and talk about them, but they didn't make my list, and here's reasons why. But that only takes 15 minutes of discussion. The part where we actually cover the list is like 32 minutes or something like that. So they're like wildly different sizes. Does that matter? Am I making something out of nothing? Just go ahead and put them as 2 separate videos. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just make them 2 separate videos, man.
And it doesn't matter that one is twice the length of the other one. Fuck it.
No.
Okay, cool. Well, that one will be up, like the one where we talk about the ones that didn't make the list and why. That'll be up for tomorrow morning. I haven't rendered it yet, but I'll render it tonight and put it up tomorrow morning.
No, I think that's the best way to go, actually, because the 6 to 10 and 5 to 1, I mean, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that almost seems like you're trying to draw it out, no matter how long it is.
Right?
It kind of does, even though you're not a monetized channel yet. So, but yeah, it seems like, he's just trying to get 2 long videos out of this.
It's not even. And I don't know. It's like I was telling you guys before, where it's like most top 10 lists on YouTube are like mojo.com that are just based entirely around lists. You know what I mean? And they're all rapid fire. Like the videos are like 6 minutes long. It was meant to be discussional. You understand what I'm saying? Like it was meant for Weebo Jones to be sitting there going, why her? What the hell? Like, and me having to lamely try and justify something that's inherently subjective, like because she's hot. That's why.
So you're gonna put out the women who didn't make the list first?
That's right.
All right.
I think that's better because it's going to leave people going, well, who the fuck's on the list then? Because there's some women on there that people are going, how the hell could you not include her? She's a goddess. Your taste is horrible.
Just make sure you name it something like women who didn't make the top 10 hottest women of Marvel, so that top 10 women of Marvel, so they know, like, oh, okay. So, and then they'll be like, where is the list? I got you. I get what you're doing. Yeah, a little foreshadowing, a little
yeah. Well,
give him a taste. Give him a little taste.
It's either that or I don't know. The women who didn't make the list, then numbers 10 through 6, like to make them equal size, and that's fucked. Like
just break it up the way you just talked about.
Yeah,
it's better that way. It's better.
I would just call it women Jason Momoa doesn't need to bang.
Yeah.
Just at the end of the actual top 10 list, just put in there, and don't forget to check out the video where we discussed who didn't make the list.
There's a couple of things I'm going to have to, I was thinking about that. I am going to record a little quick intro work because that wasn't the plan when we recorded it. So there's no audio raw audio from the original footage where I'm saying it's going to be in 2 parts or whatever. So I'm going to have to record a little, blurb about that. And I'll do that tonight once I'm done here.
Get that watch times right. Somebody asked what we think. Where's that? Sleepy Noodle, Polydub, what are your thoughts on the idea of cyberbullying? Are you trying to get him to join? What?
I don't, people say that cyberbullying ain't a thing. I think it can be a thing. You can stalk someone online.
Sure, it can be a thing.
It's about transgressing to the real world. I think that kind of has to, you can find out all kinds of shit about like let's say a celebrity you're obsessed with. You know what I mean? And track them online to go find them in the real world. Or you can just fuck somebody up wherever they go. People do that with over ideology, right? People do that in Comicsgate. They do that with Kick Vic, Vic Minonia, right? We're going to
do that with Medicars. I mean, his minions will follow you around for years. Ask Monday and Matt.
Well, do you see what I'm saying? Is it? I don't know. I hear some people describe cyberbullying, and I'm like, that's what you're talking about? Some people, it's more like, yeah, I don't know. When they're contacting people you work with and shit and saying, that umbrella guy, when he's getting contacted at work and they're saying, do you realize that one of your employees is part of an online hate group? And what they're talking about is Comicsgate. And it's there are a bunch of white nationalists and blah, blah, blah. And he got pulled into his manager's office and asked, well, he's a contractee, as I understand it. He got pulled into somebody serious's office and asked, so what's this story that you're part of an online hate group that's all white supremacist and stuff? And he's like, okay, let me explain to you some fucked up shit that's been going on. Can you imagine having to explain that stuff, Monkey? Fuck.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting conversation.
How do you just, it's over comic books. That's what the fuck.
In chat, Chuck E. Cheese says Dave Rubin claims to have developed a disorder from cyberbullying. I'm not kidding. I don't know how much Dave has been through, but most of the time I see the term cyberbullying, it's because somebody was making fun of me on Twitter. Fuck off.
Well, it's sort of like PTSD. It's a real thing, but the people that claim to have it usually don't.
Right. If somebody's just making fun of you on Twitter, there's several ways to deal with that. Seriously. People are leaving negative comments on your videos. There's ways to deal with that if you just can't deal with them being there. But then there's some crazies out there who take it way too far, who do stuff that I don't know if I would consider it cyberbullying as much as it's this is fucking criminal harassment. That they get, that it's oh, this was cyber. No, that's criminal fucking harassment. Are you insane? You're contacting somebody's employer over this shit? That's not cyberbullying. It's fucking harassment.
You make an interesting point. There already is law against that, just not application for it from a cyber aspect. But yeah, criminal harassment absolutely is a thing. You make a really good point.
In some cases, it's just straight up stalking.
Yeah.
They take it beyond harassment. If they're contacting your work, that's a little too personal.
Yeah, a little. Holy fuck! Because they don't like your criticisms of the comic book industry. Are you fucking serious? Wow.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I even get. You have the some video or something. Goes wild and people get a bunch of shit for it. I wouldn't necessarily consider that first onslaught to be anything other than people being dicks. You know what I mean? But if those same people come back, regardless of what videos you make next, and for the next year, 2 years, are just there, I'm here to remind you how much I hate you. Mm-hmm. I think those people should be put into a padded cell and treated for whatever the fuck is wrong with them. Because that's not normal behavior. If this happened, I mean, imagine a comedian goes up there, does a show, and the people in the audience, half of them don't like it. And so they just follow that guy around every day to tell him how much they don't like him. That would get him locked up.
That's a good analogy because it's fucking. That would be crazy if people did that, but people do that. Like
They do.
you know, something that's analogous to that, don't they?
Oh, I gotta go tell him how much I hate him. Like, don't you have anything better to do? If you actually disagree with what they're saying at that point, or what the people have been surprised that I've said nice things about AOC. Yeah, when I agree with her, I'm going to say, oh, I agree with you here, because it's not that I'm stalking this woman. It's just I think she says a whole bunch of shit that's stupid. But when I agreed with Ted Lieu the day after I basically told him I thought he was a moron. I hate when I agree with you, but you're absolutely right here. That's fine if you're just being honest and you're interested in what they're saying, that kind of stuff. Fine, but you have these people, they didn't even sit and watch the video or read the tweet, and especially with tweets, you can tell because they're not even responding to what was said. Krasensteins, man, so many of theirs was like, there's no way you even read that tweet.
So what's up with them now? Do you know? Have you?
I don't know. I haven't heard from them since they got booted off of YouTube. I know they tried to pimp in their Facebook stuff. I know they still have their, or last I heard, they still had the Hill Reporter Twitter handle.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's still out there. Let's see.
The Hill Reporter.
You got to give them credit for, being dirty little shitbags. Like, people actually think the Hill is a real newspaper thing. Let's see. Oh, they actually they're still tweeting over there. Mostly it's just their stories from their site, though. I don't see any regular.
Can you imagine if they were still live in effect on Twitter? Like the way they were before, with this Trump calling back the bombing on Iran. It would be, oh my God, he almost took us to the brink of World War III. Like,
well, speaking of Ted Lieu, because I said at the beginning of this that, oh wow, Ted Lieu follows the Hill Reporter. There's a fucking shock. Ted Lieu, he went on some news program, I forget where, and he's like, I agree with Trump's decision, but we need to know what their plan was. What the fuck is wrong with you, Ted? Just once in a while, I agree. I thought it was a good choice. I'm glad the president made that choice. But why? Like, you fucking crazy bitch. Well, that's what happens when your whole career is based on hating somebody else. Oh man. Excuse me. Oh, there's the original person who told us what we can and cannot joke about. Oh, you go over to their site or their page, and the first thing it says, it's a pinned tweet. I love being bisexual.
Pronouns in the description there?
Nope. It just says it's got the little female sign, and it says future photographer, bi, nature lover, artist and music enthusiast, coffee addict. I'm always tired. You don't think those two might have something to do with each other, huh? And DMs close. That's all it says. But their pinned tweet, I love being bisexual. I get to taste both sides. Oh, and I'm a furry. I'm glad they didn't. We read a thing earlier. This person, they put a tweet out. They told us what we're not allowed to make fun of.
Okay. And
the strange one that was on the list was Ebola, but it's got things like LGBT. What is it? Cripples. What's the proper word for cripples? I forget it.
Handicapable?
No. Disabled. That's it. And this whole list. And if you make fun of these things, it's just immature. Yep. And you can suck my immature dick. Thank you. The Cap and Dogs just popped in to hit the like and say hi. And thank Jack for the one-liners countering Monkey's hypno voice while I was driving home last night.
No problem.
Hypno voice? Is my voice hypnotic? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, ladies, just pay attention. Just listen to my voice. Now take off your panties.
See, did it work? That's why you got to pimp out your Patreon and Teespring more.
I have a Patreon down below. Please go donate and buy a shirt, and don't forget to donate to me and the folks on the channel here. Different abled still a thing. Differently abled. I haven't heard that in a while, a long time actually. Probably because people were like, "That's retarded." Differently abled.
Like what? You got a third arm that you can do stuff with? I don't know what that means. Differently abled. Yeah, their cognitive pathways forged differently. What are they? Super beings? Mutants? What is going on?
Yeah, I'm differently abled. I differently can't pick up shit. I'm home now. Yeah, ice holes. Nice try. Ice holes, man. That was a great movie. Freaking ice holes. Johnny Dangerously. Wasn't this the title of a Nickelodeon show? I don't know.
Oh no,
Maybe.
that was You Can't Do That on Television.
Oh yeah, man.
With Atlantis Morissette. Head, something.
Morissette, yeah. When she came out with You Ought to Know and they said that, I'm like, I used to watch that show religiously. I don't remember her. And then I went and checked. She was one of the smaller parts because she was an ugly kid.
Well, she was pretty ugly adult too.
Oh, monkey.
What?
I just went to my creator studio and looked. Scribe is only one view behind your episode of Comic Book
Son
Curation.
of a bitch.
One view.
Y'all better go watch mine.
Like 7 times. Just keep hitting refresh.
That's right. Tell your friends, your family, that bitch you hate to go watch it.
Like I forgot how many weeks ago it was that you were on.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that was episode 42, and we just did 51. So that was a good while ago.
Yeah, time flies when you do this, man. And I don't know how it happens because it's weird as you age, folks, how much time starts flying. And once you hit adulthood, it picks up. Once you have kids, it really fucking starts going. But there's something about doing these shows. Like we the other night we tried to guess how long I'd been doing this. We guessed about 4 months, and it's actually 8. I feel like you should realize you've done something for 8 months. But it didn't feel like 8 months at all. Random, you dick. He says link for Scribe's episode.
Well,
how dare you?
I won't give you the direct link for Scribe's episode, but there is the link to my channel where you can go and click on whichever video your heart desires.
Oh, you see, you could have helped me out there, you know.
I could have.
You could have. Instead of
Scribe's episode is number 48.
Yeah, you could have given a direct link to mine and been like, this is his.
If you want to see monkeys, I'm pretty proud of that title. Mark Ruffalo, hulking moron.
There, I'll do it. Y'all go click on that link. Keep me above Scribe. Damn it. And remember, don't think of your mom when you're masturbating.
No, don't do that.
No. If you think of your mom when you're masturbating, it's wrong. Touching yourself thinking of your mom is just weird. Don't do it.
And you know what will help you not think of your mom while masturbating? Watching videos on my channel.
There you go. And don't forget, guys,
out on the shilling aspect.
We're brought to you by you. So if you enjoy what we do here, please donate if you can. And if not, please share and like and subscribe, because sometimes we do quality content on this show. I'm not going to tell you it's very often. Look, it happened once.
Okay. I just wanted to see it myself. Jesus.
It can happen again. Like the beginning of Armageddon here. It happened before. It could happen again. Can I still think of a mom? Yes, you can, as long as it's not your mom or your mom's mom or your mom's mom's mom. Keep it out of your immediate family-ish. Okay, Scribe's in the lead now. You guys are dicks.
Are they? Hold on, let me refresh. Are they kidding?
Fucking bastards. You guys are assholes.
It's gonna kill me if they're not kidding. That's funny.
Look, my ego. You're lucky my ego can't be damaged. Actually. Anyway, what else were we going to talk about tonight? I had some other tweets. Oh, Donald Trump was accused of rape today, y'all. Accused of rape by an author.
Really?
Who's selling a new book?
Really?
There's a shocker.
Yeah, I want to find the article we read on Lords of the Night because I got to read you guys the description of the event.
I'm sure it's a coincidence, Monkey.
It's an absolute coincidence, just like the chick with her nudes getting leaked, that she leaked herself. Her just happening to sell a book at the same time. It's all coincidence, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nothing is ever planned. Okay, what the hell's her name? E. Jean Carroll. So she tells us that she ran into Trump. Oh God, full page ad for Windows 10. Really? I'm using it. Dumbass.
You buy a second.
Can't you tell?
Can't you?
Fuck. So they met. See, occasionally there's good content. They met at a store. What was the name of this store? Oh, there it is. Bergdorf Goodman.
Oh, wow, really?
In Midtown Manhattan.
Super high end, man.
And Trump apparently recognized her and then asked her to try on some lingerie so he could get it for his woman. That's a normal thing people do all the time.
Right.
She says, as we head to the dressing room, I'm laughing aloud and saying in my mind, I'm going to make him put this thing on over his pants. Yeah. And then she continues. And I want you guys to listen to this and see if you can figure out the parts where we said, oh, bullshit. The moment the dressing room door is closed, he lunges at me, pushing me against the wall, hitting my head quite badly, and puts his mouth against my lips. I am so shocked. I shove him back and start laughing again. He seizes both my arms and pushes me against the wall a second time. And as I become aware of how large he is, he holds me against the wall with his shoulder, and he jams his hand under my coat dress and pulls down my tights. I am astonished by what I'm about to write. I keep laughing. The next moment, still wearing correct business attire, shirt, tie, suit jacket, overcoat, he opens the overcoat, unzips his pants, and forcing his fingers around my private area, thrusts his penis halfway or completely, I'm not certain, inside me. It turns into a colossal struggle. I am wearing a pair of sturdy black patent leather 4-inch heels. Oh, sorry, Barney high heels, which puts my height around 6'1", and I try to stomp his foot. I try to push him off with one free hand. For some reason, I'm still holding my purse in the other. And I finally get a knee up high enough to push him out and off, and I turn and open the door and run out of the dressing room.
Greg Rogers says it perfectly. It sounds like a bad romance book. Yeah. It sounds like it sounds like a terribly written bodice ripper. Absolutely. You're a writer. You should have suspended the sound of writing, like this remarkable detail that you seem to, and I heard a violin in the distance as the birds called, and like it, fuck off.
Now, we have Stormy Daniels' account of Donald's cock, and she said it wasn't very impressive. According to this chick, through his trousers, and his fingers in the way, because his fingers are down there. She says that at the time his penis slips in, he gets his dick into a woman who's standing up straight in front of him. Anybody else seen a problem with that?
I don't know. What's chapter 2 say?
Oh, it goes on. The whole episode lasts no more than 3 minutes. I do not believe he ejaculates. I don't remember if any person or attendant is now in the lingerie department. I don't remember if I run for the elevator, if I take my slow ride down on the escalator. As I soon land on the main floor, I run across the store and out the door. I don't recall which door. I find myself outside on 5th Avenue. You have to read the rest of the book if you want to know if he called later and ended up saving her from the pirate so that they became a couple.
Yeah.
Kyler says, that's not easy to do, Monkey. Look, one of my favorite ways of having sex is literally standing up face to face. It's actually quite enjoyable. But it takes a little bit of work to get in there at first. It really does. Including her being quite helpful in the matter. But for him to, through with his hand there. And I'm also wondering why she had her legs spread enough for him to do that in the first place. She doesn't mention that here. But especially if she had her legs closed. But this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. Now, I'm not saying Trump didn't rape this lady. I wasn't there, don't know. But this story is nonsense.
Yeah, if you
it's
want
just nonsense.
If you want people to believe your story, you did a terrible job of sounding credible.
Yeah.
And what year was this supposedly in?
Just mid-90s when she was 52. So I'm sure she has the actual date, but I don't see it here. 25 years ago. So
yeah, she remembers all the details, doesn't she?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that Blasey Ford chick. It's indelible on my memories.
We had a lot of those when we read this tonight. A lot of people, Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Look, sweetie, when you're trying to lie, here's something you need to do. Keep it vague. You got way too explicit in your details there, which is what gives you away as a fucking liar.
But it has all of the quotable details that can be nicely broken up into sound bites for the Chiron on the various news networks. You see,
that's true. I like that she didn't know whether he was halfway or all the way in her. That's a nice touch. I'm guessing if his finger's in the way, he's not all the way in, sweetie. He'd have broke his own fingers, flattened them. It was just. I read this, and there's people all over. Trump did it, and we have to believe her. Vox, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is trying to gaslight us on E. Jean Carroll's account of rape. The president's response to the advice columnist's accusation is to make us doubt our own eyes.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
None of us saw it. The fuck do you mean doubt our own eyes? You mean doubt the bullshit story she told? Because he did release a statement. It's like 4 paragraphs long where he's like, this shit did not happen and false rape accusations are not cool. Which good for him. But yeah, like trying to make us doubt our own eyes. You didn't see it, bitch. Now, the article I was reading before, it goes on to say that while she didn't tell the police, she did tell 2 friends at the time. And the New Yorker magazine verified with those friends that it happened at the time, or confirmed with those friends it happened at the time.
I don't know what that means.
That means you asked them and they said yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
which doesn't prove fuck all.
We have confirmed the hearsay.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
We confirm she may have said this to them back then. That's what you're saying. Raman says she should have gone to the police. Yes. She says that her one friend told her that she should have gone to the police. Her other friend said, don't. He's got like 200 lawyers. He'll bury you. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what they said. I'm sure that none of this is made up. This absolutely happened. The president has a 13-inch dick, so he can get it in there through all of that with her not being cooperative, dry as a bone. That's another part. You ever try going into a dry puss? It's hard enough in missionary when you're, you have to, there's just so much of it. It's just nonsense. And it make us doubt our own eyes. Fuck you, Vox. You lying dicks. We're a news organization. Sure you are.
They're trying to sell clicks, and people are going to click on the story. Therefore, what they did was successful.
You're not wrong, but they're still lying dicks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
make us doubt our own eyes. Now there's no video evidence of this. According to her, the dressing room they went into, she doesn't remember if there was an attendant, but for some reason Donald went in with her. Isn't that part weird too? A guy you kind of know sees you, asks you to try on some lingerie, and you both go into the dressing room together. Right. This sounds like a bad romance novel. Although, to be fair, they're all bad. Yeah, in the romance novel version of this, she ends up hating him for a while, but he saves her from some rogue cowboys. And she finds out he's actually a nice guy. He only raped her because he had a bet with his friends or something stupid like that. And they really love each other and they live happily ever after. Nice. Random says, what store would allow that? Apparently a very classy one on Fifth Avenue.
Well, that's the question to go put to Bergdorf, is put the hard question to them. If you guys are actually investigative reporters and you're not doubting your own eyes, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean, then go ask people at Bergdorf's. How long have you been allowing men to go into the change room with women? How long has this been your policy? Allowing the circumstances of rape to occur so readily on your own premises? And they're going to say, we've never allowed that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, this person claims that's exactly what happened in the mid-90s, and these are her rape allegations, and we want to know why your attendants in the mid-90s were so lackadaisical that they would allow a billionaire to rape somebody on your own premises. And they're going to say, the fuck are you talking about? That's slander, sir. And it would, but Vox ain't going to do that. They're just going to take this person's word and go, yeah, see, fuck you, Trump, because that's the whole point.
They were asked about whether there was any videotape, and they're like, no, we don't have no fucking videotape from the 90s. So yeah, it's literally, she said bullshit. And that story is so fucking bogus. It's ridiculous. Trump was new in town and needed a date for the night, so he picked up a hooker. He bought her a necklace. I think he kept calling her pretty woman. Yeah. It's just so fucking stupid. Ridiculous.
Listen, my channel needs some advertising. Fuck it. Trump raped me.
Right. There you go. Trump raped Polly.
I got to get a hold of Vox, man. Hashtag Polly too. It's just oof.
I didn't see it, but he told me about it right after it happened.
Are you going to doubt your own eyes?
You listened and believed, monkey.
That's what we're supposed to do. Listen and believe. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Now I want to talk about this. We've talked about about term limits and stuff on the show a few times. The president, mostly I think to fuck with people, and partially because he thinks it would be cool if he could be president for life, keeps making jokes about being president for life. Thank you, Miles. Hey, Monkey, it's really a shame how the left politicizes rape allegations, especially with Kavanaugh. Didn't see much outrage when Juanita Broderick came back in 2016. The outrage when Juanita came back was that, how dare you bring her back? That shit was funny as fuck. When Trump brought Juanita, what was that to? Was that to a debate? I can't remember. Yeah. For those who don't know, Juanita accused Bill Clinton of rape back in. The allegations came out the first time he ran. They weren't taken seriously ever. I mean, the allegations actually came out when he was governor still.
Oh, come on. Her and Jennifer Flowers, they were just a bunch of floozies. Now these random people accusing Trump.
Bimbos.
Believe.
Remember, they were bimbos. It was bimbo explosion.
That's right. Coming out of nowhere, just trying to bring down a good man. Now, as for this Kavanaugh character and Trump, well, fuck them. I mean, they raped everyone. I mean, all the people.
Yeah. Trump brought all of the Clinton women to the second Hillary debate. There you go. I thought it was one of the debates. I couldn't remember. But yeah, didn't he have like a table set up outside with her? That shit was funny as fuck, man. Anyway, so Trump keeps making these jokes about being president forever, mostly to troll the media.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it again today. And a guy who works for the Times, I'm not sure exactly what he does for the Times, Kenneth P. Vogel, blue check mark, tweeted this in response to it. Funny, the president of the United States just tweeted a video that envisions him remaining in office for eternity in defiance of both human morality and the 22nd Amendment to the United States.
human morality.
That's the part.
So you're trying to tell me that you believe China is operating currently in contravention to human morality because they have a president for life?
Well, what about Roosevelt?
Just
technically, FDR was president for life.
Yeah, and there was another guy who tried running for a third term. He just didn't make it. The point is, the hyperbole, the fucking hyperbole from these people is just, you'd think I'd be used to it by now. You'd think it wouldn't get me angry still, but it does.
That's because they're not news reporters. They're news what?
Entertainers.
There you go. You picked up on the same thing I did immediately. Because you know what? If he had said in defiance of the 22nd Amendment, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you just can't take a joke. But human morality? What the fuck are you talking about?
Because they have to claim all the things. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
he's literally saying right there that FDR was immoral.
I'll say FDR was immoral.
So will I, but I bet he wouldn't say that if you told him what it meant. If you told him what he accidentally just said there, I bet he'd be like, "Oh no, I don't mean FDR, just Trump, because I don't like him."
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese says term limits were invented during FDR's third term. Yeah, there was no 22nd Amendment. What FDR was perfectly allowed to do what he did. There was no law against it that came out after him, and as a result of his 4 wins. But I don't have a problem with that. We can differ on whether term limits are right or wrong. That's fine. But to claim wanting a third term is immoral, are you serious?
Like human morality.
Human morality.
He didn't say American values. That would have made sense, right?
Sure, I could even give you that.
An enshrined leader for life, or even for an extremely lengthy term in the top office. Yeah, that is in contravention to American values. It's not very American. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But human morality, like you're not talking about fucking genocide or torture or something that fits, like that is appalling and degrades human decency. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Ollie, do you really think that Trump doesn't violate human decency? And it is a shocking affront to my humanity.
Well, what about this? Because here's the other part. While we don't have term limits on Congress, how many of these fuckers have been in there for decades?
Yeah.
You think this shitbag has ever said that it was immoral for them to be there that long?
But this is the whole point. Why aren't
human morality?
That level of overheated rhetoric is the phrase that gets used. It's like, well, this superheated rhetoric in the age of Trump. And it's like, yeah, blame it on Trump. Trump's the one. It's not you fucking scumbags or anything in the entertainment business. I mean, news game doing it every day, all day with this fucking garbage.
Real quick, I want to answer some questions here in chat. Chuck E. Cheese died after his first term. What? No, Ramen. FDR was elected to 4 terms. He died in his 4th. Yes, I'm pretty sure he died before the 22nd Amendment, but it was put in place because of how many the Democrats actually at the time. This was actually a smart thing for them. Like, we can never let this happen again because Republicans will eventually win, and we don't want that. And it's like, I understand why we have term limits, and I get all the arguments, you guys have made in favor of them. And I understand why we have them. So I don't have a problem with that. That's something we can have like just a philosophical difference on. But I don't think FDR was immoral for running 4 times. I don't think that he was violating human decency for that. I disagree with a lot of the stuff he did during the 4 terms in a year, 3 terms in a year, I think it was. I can't remember when he died in the 4th term there. What else do we have here? He was a Democrat, Peter. I think that's all the questions people had. There you go. I think the 22nd was started while he was still alive. I'm fairly certain it was started when he was alive, and yes, ratified after he died. because it takes a little while to ratify them. The notion that you want to be president if it's legal more than just 2 terms, I don't think that's against human fucking morality. Could you make it any more hyperbolic? How can you make that any more hyperbolic?
I'm flashing back to that time that a guy called another guy a turbo cunt. I was reading through a comment section on YouTube, and
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, and they're just going back and forth like, you're a dick, you're a son of a bitch, you're a cocksucker, and like they're going up and up and up, and they ran out of things to say, like dirty son of a bitch, like adjectives that they're sticking in front of already cuss words, you know what I mean? And eventually one guy calls the other guy a turbo cunt. I'm like, you were really out of ideas, weren't you? Like it's on that level when hyperbole is stretched so far that it's ready to snap. I mean, they call him Hitler already, Donald Trump, right? They already call him Hitler. He's a tyrant, he's a traitor. You're out of hyperbole, and his very existence is an effrontery to human morality. What's left?
Dangerous Spaces asked who said this. This is somebody who works for the New York Times named Kenneth P. Vogel. He said it over on Twitter, and I don't remember how I caught it. I don't follow the guy. It just popped up in my timeline. I'm like, are you kidding? Human morality? Night, Prospero.
Night, Prospero. That's a hell of a slingshot bathing suit that lady has on there. Just looking at Twitter here, Monkey.
Prospero?
No, I just said I'm looking at
Holy
Twitter.
Shit.
That's
the girl in black?
Yeah, man.
She needs to shave them pits. Why did I have to see that?
Who needs to shave pits? What are you talking about?
The chick in the black bathing suit.
No, that's shadow, man. Those are shadows.
No, that's not.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me look.
If you make it bigger, it looks like it's just shadow.
Just
in the smaller picture, it's like, oh fuck.
Look how well kempt downstairs is. Why would she leave upstairs?
No, dude. This is one of the things I've wondered about feminists for a long time, because this absolutely happens. There are feminists out there who will not shave their armpits, but keep a clean twat. They just shave it baby bald. I'm like, that don't make no sense. Because the whole thing about a shaved puss came about because of porn made by men. But you're going to fight the patriarchy with those hairy ass armpits, but you have no problem shaving your puss. That
careful. You're going to get armored shill after you for making comments about women shaving because of porn.
What, does he have a problem? Do you have a problem with that?
No, I was just reading through his threads. Althor brought to my attention that, Sargon of Akkad and Black Pigeon Speaks did that interview conversation, whatever, right? Okay, well, Armored Shill has to weigh in on it because I'm relevant, and he's like, y'all motherfuckers need to stop claiming that you're left centrists. First of all, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever, man. You make up everything you say as you go. I mean, let's just it's nothing personal, but come on, your shoes accessory, like just.
Oh shit!
Weird accessory, your dad bod.
I'm just saying, like in his, I don't follow him on Twitter, right? It was I saw it because Zelda hit me up with the link, and I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute. In his bio, he calls himself a socio-political commentator. Like, what
does he?
He's spelled sociopath.
Let's
wrong.
see.
And it's
creator
and I'm like,
voice. Hang on, I'm going to read his thing. Creator and voice of Armored Skeptic, host of Night at the Movies, KNIT, socio-political commentator, reluctant centrist. Please stop debunking my jokes. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Dear Lord. I
mean, Dr. Lehman took him to the woodshed and spanked him pretty hard, like well over a year ago.
I think you're talking to Logic.
Oh, Logic.
And he's still running off and like I said, I don't follow him until I saw it last night. It's like Gregory TM. I'm like, God damn, dude, you're still running off that joke.
You know, you're just jealous because you guys are armored skeptic clones.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do follow his trend of picking the low-hanging fruit of the country Christian church that actually believes in creationism and then debunking it with you know, one scene per every 3-second animation and calling it editing. Fuck, whatever. The guy's a low fruit picker, classic atheist.
Yellow fruit picker.
I can't even.
Sounds like a racist term from the 80s.
I'm stumbling over my own words because I'm amazed that the guy has an audience. It's like, dude, you're a personality streamer. You and Shu do the night at the movies thing. That stick to your lane. You know what I mean? You're not a debater. You're not an intellectual, although you like to think of yourself as one. Like I said, Dr. Lane put out 2 videos that just made you look so bad, and it was just cuts of what you were saying. You don't understand post-structuralism. You don't understand any of the terminology you're using. You think scientific, reasonable, rational, empirical are all interchangeable terms when they're not. You're not educated in these things, formally or informally. But yet, still, just...
I want to read this tweet you're talking about. I brought it up. And by the way, hi, Shu, if you're out there listening. She listens to the show sometimes.
That's fine. No beef with Shu. Like I said,
no, I know.
Their night at the movies thing is fun.
That is a cute little show. It really is.
It absolutely is. I love watching her get introduced to like sci-fi and stuff that he's a fan of, but she's completely new to, and him trying to explain it to her. There's great comedy in that.
Nope, it's stupid and she's dumb.
It's when Greg takes himself as this serious intellectual, and I'm going to use skepticism to debunk. Dude, you pick the lowest hanging fruit you can find, and then lord yourself over it.
This is what the tweet says. Y'all motherfuckers really need to stop calling yourself center left. Blaming the pendulum swing for your political compass change is like saying my opinion didn't change, reality changed around my opinions. And then he says a couple of things here. I want to talk about what he said there, but he throws this part in the original tweet. BPS argued women destroy civilizations, don't have the right to vote. I don't know what that part's about. Don't care. I want to talk about that first part there. My opinions didn't change. Reality changed around my opinions. Yes. It is arguing exactly that. It is literally arguing my opinions didn't change. The world around me changed. And it's exactly what has happened. I got to watch maybe 2/3 of that thing before I was like, fuck it, I got to go to sleep. But I did watch a good chunk of the first portion of Sargon talking with Black Pigeon Speaks. And this particular part I saw, and they're absolutely right. What they were talking about is that they're still in the same values that they've had. And if you went back, I think they were talking back like to the 90s and 2000s, if I remember correctly, is the terms they use, that they would have been considered center left. But the left has been dragged so far left that they're now considered right or far right. And I don't know what their opinions were back then, whether or not they changed. But if they did hold these same opinions, they're absolutely right. They would have been center left. The world has changed. The pendulum has swung. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we've gotten to a place in our society where socialism is actually considered acceptable in America. If you came out as a fucking candidate in any election before 2016 and said you were socialist, that would have been the end of your run right there. And the further you go back in history, you might have just been thrown in prison and shot as a traitor, you nasty bitch. I'm exaggerating there, but socialism was not acceptable in any form. No, nobody said that. In fact, Democrats fought hard against that label. Very hard. I'm not a socialist. I'm a full-on capitalist. I'm a commie. No,
but it's the parties that are doing it more than the population is doing it. The polity hasn't suffered the pendulum swing that the parties have. Think about it. Neocons under George W. Bush 43, seemed to run the party in a given direction. It was about exporting democracy, the expansion of U.S. military power, the power projection around the globe to protect America and her allies. That is not what the Republican Party talks about now, because they're no longer being led by a small group of neocons, the Vulcans, as they get called inside of political science, right? Then the Republican Party started to get pulled around by the nose by who? The Tea Party, right? That wasn't the mass of the party. So who's pulling around the Democrats? The Democrats for a long time were in the 90s were don't ask, don't tell. Okay, well, that's not their position anymore. A small group of very active and very vocal people inside the party can drag it in a given direction. When you look at the opinion polls across the board, and I'm talking the gold standards, not random CNN polls. I'm talking like Pew Research polls that are metadata polls aggregated over multiple years. The polity of America hasn't changed its political opinions that much. They are still low in favor of socialism. The only people Bernie Sanders was able to get elected over and over again saying what he was saying. That's because the enclave that he operates in Vermont is acceptable to those kind of ideas. I'm not particularly surprised that Ocasio-Cortez was able to get elected in the enclave that she's in when she's promising endless free stuff, plus the other variables we've talked about multiple times that led to her becoming elected. I'm not surprised about that. It's a party acceptance thing. When the pendulum swinging is the Overton window of what parties are finding acceptable. And yeah, I agree. It's totally wild. But this idea, like what Armored Shill's talking about, that it's, well, the everything's changed around you and you're acting like you're still where you're at and you can still claim that. And that's ridiculous. And it's like, no, it's not ridiculous. They're claiming the parties are shifting and their personal politics as part of the polity is remained the same. And the parties are all becoming more radical, moving towards the left. They're not wrong in making that claim.
Real quick, over on Streamlabs, thank you, Circus Zero. It says Trump joking about being president for life is immoral, but Fidel Castro was a great man. That's the New York Times logic for you. I know, late responding. One, exactly. And two, thank you so much for that donation. Yeah.
You guys took away something completely different than I did from this tweet.
Oh, go ahead. What'd you take?
See, I heard y'all motherfuckers. And first of all, he's appropriating Southern culture. He's Canadian.
I talked about that for about 5 minutes trying to make Zelther understand why that was the most frustrating thing to me. Y'all motherfuckers, you started that way. Why? First of all, you're as white as
I'm not done. Hang on, Polly. Don't get all fired up just yet. You guys had your 5 minutes. This is my turn now. We're delving into my crazy.
All right.
Y'all motherfuckers. So what does that imply? First of all, that sounds very street, doesn't it? Y'all motherfuckers. First of all, he's appropriating Southern culture with y'all. Second of all, what's wrong with having sex with women with kids? Every father should be offended by that. So he is purposely ostracizing part of the community and labeling them negatively just to insult these two people.
Don't you understand? If a motherfucker's walking down the street and hears somebody make that joke, it's going to fuck them up for life.
Exactly. We talked about this earlier. This is shaming the people that have a sexual love of women that have born children.
This is motherfucker shaming.
Yeah, it's motherfucker shaming. Just because she didn't have an abortion doesn't mean she doesn't deserve love too.
Jesus Christ.
Now, further, it sounds very street, which Greg is, let's face it, a cis white male from probably a middle-class background. I don't think he's really qualified to use those two words together in the vernacular that he appears to be using it in. Y'all motherfuckers. No, that sounds very socioeconomically challenged urban users. And Greg is far from that. Plus, he's Canadian. Go back to Degrassi High and learn some real insults, because you are not qualified to use that phrase. I'm deeply, deeply insulted by this and your attempts to puff yourself up to sound in some way superior or tough. You are not. Stop, Greg. Just stop. You're not qualified to make these assessments or use this slang. You are not funny. You are not tough. Shush. Now, also,
Hi, Vanilla Bear. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Also, she's kind of a bitch, and I don't like her, so I'm starting beef, yo.
Oof.
Shu can definitely be a bitch, and I've told you guys before I like bitchy women. Me and Shu have had we've gone back and forth before, but I actually do like Shu. I've always found her videos funny too.
No, her channel's huge. Mine's really tiny. I need the views and the responses that I'm gonna get.
You're doing what Greg's doing, swatting at a more relevant couple of people, trying to get some attention for yourself.
I'm punching up, but see, I'm qualified because I'm not Greg, and he's really super annoying.
You know what you should do?
Smelly.
Diss track.
No, that's not going to happen. But I will mock him here, and because I'm safely not on my channel.
Rebecca says sounds pretty street for a Canadian. Are there Canadians who are street?
I'm sure there are, but they're probably imports from America. There's probably some tough, like hood rats or some Canadian equivalent, because
they're Canadian.
Yeah, but at the same time, for Canada, they're probably pretty tough.
They're like British light.
They have a lot of serial killers in Canada. Does that count?
I guess
there is literally nowhere in the world that has cities with millions of people that I would assume that there aren't people there that would,
interrupt Polly, LOL. Thank you, Circus Zero.
That would kill you for your shoes. I mean, like, you can call France a bunch of pussies. Look, there's all kinds of places in France I'm sure you wouldn't want to fuck around in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
the Muslim areas.
Look. God damn you. Pincalo points to himself and says, motherfucker. Look, I'm sure you're as street as Canada gets, but you're Canadian.
Well, I would still put Pincalo way tougher than Greg. Like, if Pincalo said, yo, motherfuckers, I'd probably be a little bit more like, okay, that dude maybe I don't want to fuck with. But Greg, come on, dude. I'm out of shape. I could outrun that fat fuck.
Do you guys remember when Vegan Gaines tried to be all tough in his video? I just couldn't stop laughing because I'm like, you're Canadian.
But he had a toy gun, Monkey. Come on. Don't you remember?
But he's Canadian.
I still think I'm not being... Look, Canadian serial killers are pretty nasty. That dude's probably got people in the crawl space. It's all
I know. Like when we go back to World War II, Canadians were some badass motherfuckers, right? They did some held the lines and shit.
Juno Beach,
yeah. The motherfuckers that they were rough. But when I think it's like you're Canadian, and I can't get over that. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are all street. You're all street in my eyes. You're all hood rats in my eyes. You're.
Is 1/4 Manitoban. I don't know what that is. Is that a monster of some kind? Oh, that's the Minotaur. Never mind.
Cheryl asks if I've been to Canada. No, I like myself.
I've been to Canada several times. People are super nice. They have some very attractive ladies up there. Hello, Lauren Chen. And but yeah, I mean,
you stay away from her. Whatever. You're gonna get us in trouble. Don't make me have to fill out a fucking affidavit. Yeah, he told me. No, I've met a lot of Canadians because I live far enough north in Michigan. They come down here a lot. And they're very pleasant people. I'm like, you guys are just too nice to ever be street. It's not a mean thing to say that you guys aren't street. You guys do realize that street is not necessarily a compliment. I mean, here in America, we might think it that way because we're fucking weird, but being an asshole and tough and okay, I can see why you guys would want to be that. Thank you, Miles. Hey, Monkey, Polly would love to see you debate on YouTube, especially that asshole Destiny. Don't forget to get Streamlabs. Oh, that was directed towards you, Polly. They'd like to see you. He'd like to see you debate Destiny. That would be an interesting thing because you were actually smart, and most of the people who debate him are decidedly not.
You want to? It's
interesting. Circus Zero. Your turn to interrupt Polly.
He loves doing that shit.
Sorry.
Anyway, go ahead. No, don't be sorry. You were paid for that.
You apologizing for nothing for it. What are you, a bunch of Canadians?
That's right. Okay. Yes. Well, you were about to say.
Destiny is okay. If you want to see something really fucking entertaining, because I revisit it every now and then, go watch when Naked Ape debated Destiny. That's the only way to beat Destiny. Destiny's the ultimate gish galloper. He's a fast talker. He does things that he knows are obnoxious just to infuriate the person he's talking to, because anger makes you stupid, makes everybody stupid. He said, "Come on, dog. What do you mean, dog?" Keeps calling his debating opponent dog. Like, you little 4'10" motherfucker. All you're thinking about is wrapping your fucking hands around his throat. And that's what he wants. And you got someone like Naked Ape who's better at playing those games than he is. And he rage quits Destiny. Is there any time I've ever seen him do it? He just flipped off angry. He kicked Naked Ape off and he said, "We're going to play games. This is supposed to be a gaming channel. I just can't listen to that guy anymore. I just can't do it. I just can't do it." It's fucking legend. Absolute legend. Would I debate Destiny? Like, on what? Well, on fuck. I hear you. It's an interesting idea, but no.
I've watched the different debates Destiny's in, and he's not as smart as he thinks he is. And he's not as smart as he comes off. One, the people that he ends up debating, they're not ready for what they get into there. He makes a lot of false equivalencies. And
that's like saying, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's and how many times can you say, "Shut up, stop gish galloping. You just brought up 5 points." And the whole point of gish galloping is, I brought up 5 points. Now go ahead and monkey try and address one of them. And then I just right away say, "Okay, but you didn't mention 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I'm still right."
Yep.
Like, it's a pussy tactic. What do you expect from a little 4'9" fucking munchkin?
Look, the guy's a homunculus, and we're all curious why he keeps operating the giant robot that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have to fight. Because he looks like Krang. Now,
right?
I'm just spitballing here, but I think the guy has a lot of self-esteem issues based around the fact that he's a little junior manlet kind of guy. He looks like when a little kid takes a marker and draws a beard on their face. and I think that kind of affected him on an emotional level. I would never debate him because he's not worth the time, because he is one of those guys that will do exactly what Polly said. He gish gallops and he tries to get you in these stupid gotcha moments. And he's really not that smart. He's just good at manipulation. And I would just ask him weird personal questions like, do you still, because he said he would have sex with he had no problem with incest or something?
He has a hard time understanding the moral difficulty with incest, yes.
Yeah, that's super creepy to me. And I would want to know, what children he's been around recently and things like that. When the last time is that he saw a vagina.
Does he think about his mom when he masturbates?
Oh, he does.
No, he does something. Going back, I want to go back to the atheist debate I had the other day. I got into an argument with this one asshole, who, I'm trying to find the exact one. Where did it go? He got very upset with me, where is it? Anyway, he got upset with my take there, where I said, this is why people don't like atheists, because you got, you do shit to just be assholes. And he made the comment to me, I'd love to see how you would react if there was a Muslim, what was a 50-foot Muslim statue or something like that. I'm like, well, you do realize there's actually a carving of Muhammad in the fucking Supreme Court chamber, and I don't care about it. And he came back, because I say, it's like, it'd be like, how'd I put it? I said, "Oh, so you mean like if I found out there was a carving of Muhammad in the Supreme Court chamber? Yeah, I'd probably lose my shit over that." Oh, wait. And he goes, "How is it losing their shit for them to sue?" He changed the subject there. It's a very subtle change. Because what he did there is, first he insinuates that I would freak out if this was just if it was Muslims instead of a Christian thing. Mm-hmm. And then I pointed out, look, there's Muslim stuff I don't give a shit about. And then he brings it back, instead of addressing that, to how is this losing their shit by suing? Like I didn't say they would do it. was addressing your point. And that's the kind of shit that Destiny does. Instead of staying on point, he will latch onto something you said that is entirely irrelevant and try to make that the argument. And I've seen him do it to so many people. He did it to Lauren Southern. He did it to Sargon. He did it to everybody I've seen him debate. Because it's not about actually the subject you're talking about. It's about winning.
Yeah. I saw him do it to Medicare when he talked to Medicare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He is good at what he does. He's not good at debating, because that's not debating. That is changing the subject just to change the subject and try to win.
Yeah, he subtly shifts the goalposts.
Yep.
Little by little and throws all these things out. Yeah. And I think it's really to hide the fact that he's one of those millennials that doesn't use deodorant. So there's always this air of cabbage around him.
God damn it. You're going to kill me tonight, Jack. Jesus Christ.
And while we're on the atheist thing, it's one thing I wanted to point out. It's for Armored Shell to talk about pendulum swinging. You want to talk about some pendulum swinging, Greg? How about the pendulum swing of I got on board following in the lines of other YouTube atheists who just sat there and debunked the lowest hanging fruit you possibly could, and then generating tens of thousands of subs off of that and whole loads of views before the first adpocalypse even struck. And here you are years later, still trying to do something along those lines, but spreading out now into armored media. The pendulum has swung away and off of that, where any asshole with some cheap animation going after creationists, which are like, how many of those are there actually in the world?
Right.
I mean, you were never, and Monkey, he does the thing that we were talking about. It's go ahead, Greg. Let's hear you talk about them damn Jews and their religion.
No,
yeah. Let's hear you talk about the Muslims and their damn religion. No, you go after the small country church where they actually believe that Adam in the Garden of Eden was living next door to dinosaurs, like the 10 morons that they are. Why don't you go after the Catholic Church? Because they don't buy into that. They're not young Earth theorists, and there's like just under or just over 1 billion of them, depending on how you look at it. No. Go after the lowest hanging fruit you possibly can. See, the pendulum has swung away. The pendulum has swung away from the popularity of doing that, and now he's stuck doing movie reviews.
When you say pendulum swinging, I'm picturing his floppy man tits swinging side to side as he runs after the ice cream truck that's going down the street, shoving kids out of the way and huffing because he's so fat.
Look at the screen.
I don't want to see this, Monkey. This makes me sad.
Thank you, Jordan. Oh my God.
Jordan did that? Fuck,
yes.
Man, he's quick.
Jordan's good
he's
at
quick.
this, man.
Straight out of Canada. Holy fuck.
At least the beaver looks badass.
Oh, Pop-Tart's here. Hey, Pop-Tart.
Hey, Poppy. How you doing, sweetheart? Oh my God. That is awesome.
Zelthor's here too. Hey, Zelthor.
Hey, Zelthor. We're gonna wrap up soon because actually we're almost at the 2-hour mark if my math is correct.
Let us see.
I think I started like 10 after.
Yeah, 112 minutes.
There was something I was gonna talk about. What the fuck? I hate when my brain does that.
Is it because of Greg's pendulous press?
It actually was because of this picture.
Broke a train of thought, didn't it?
It really did. Oh, it was the Boogie thing. It was Boogie. Today, Boogie. Well, yesterday at this point.
What'd you guys talk about on the show tonight? Fat guys and midgets.
God damn it. Boogie released a video explaining that piece that was written that was basically a hit piece about Jeremy from The Quartering, but was dressed up as a look how angry all of the gamers are on YouTube story from
right. Where was that written?
Oh fuck, I forget.
It was like, look at why are gamers so angry, and then spends most of their time talking about Jeremy Hampley.
The first like quarter of it, they actually go over several different gamers, and then they hit Jeremy, and they just write about him for the rest of the fucking thing. Boogie explained that he talked to that reporter, And he talked to that reporter because he was trying to make that reporter understand that, yes, gamers are angry. Gamers are angry, and here's why. And he said, you know, if you take away the reason, if you stop giving gamers reasons to be angry, they'll stop being angry. Now, I'm not sure that's necessarily true, but well, we've talked before, you know, people will find offense if they're looking for it. And that happens in some of this Gamergate stuff, and there are people who overreact to, excuse me, I'm so sorry. They overreact to stuff. But his point being, he's like, look, they give, you know, loot boxes, they give us, the games are now getting, there's $60, you get half of a game, but then you got to buy the DLC to get the whole game that you were promised to meet, you know, originally. And he lays out all these reasons why they are. And he goes, none of that appeared in the article. He goes, I thought that I could explain it to him. And as I was watching this, I was like, of course you did. Of course you did. Because Boogie is that kind of guy. And he's not the only one. And I'm not being mean to Boogie here. There's so many times that I've seen people get interviewed for an article, and then the article comes out and they're going, that is not at all what I tried to do. That's not what I said. Even if it is what I said, you know, they only cherry picked parts of it that they want to use. If you're a big person like Boogie, and I don't mean his physical size, I mean his channel reach, you know, and the press comes to talk to you, they're gonna butt fuck you. They're not gonna be nice to you. They're not gonna go, oh, that's why this stuff is happening. I get it now. That's not what these people are about. You know why? Because does that get clicks? Does it get clicks when it's like, gamers are understandably upset about these couple of things, and if the gaming industry would be nice about it? No, you know what that does? That gets you fired. You have to go out there and you have to go, these people are angry and look at what dicks they are, and that gets you the clicks. So on the very, very small chance that there's anybody out there listening who has that kind of reach, and the press comes to you, do one of two things. Either tell them to go get fucked, or record the conversation. And when their fucking bullshit article comes out, play it. Did you ever see that interview Milo did with the, I forget which morning show it was, but he insisted on having his own camera crew there?
Yeah, that was smart.
It was fucking amazing. Because then it's like, you guys can't lie about what was said, because the press does this shit all the time. And of course, Boogie would fall for it, because Boogie thinks you can change people by just talking nice to them. Nope. Doesn't work, especially the press, because that doesn't get them clicks, for fuck's sake.
I agree 100%, Monkey. I know it's odd for us to agree 100%, but no,
I know, right?
Actually, that was actually really well said. I remember when Richard Meyer, your boy Zach, Diversity in Comics, right? He made this point and made it excellently. He's like, after dealing with the press for a little while, like myself, when he'd asked to interview me, and then having read the ways that I'm being talked about and people that I know that aren't this way, I've come to realize there are only two types of stories. There's hit pieces and puff pieces. That's it. And that's to a greater or lesser degree, they might be a little bit biased towards one side. Then it's a very mild puff piece. But in the end, there's still only hit pieces and puff pieces. So like you said, if the press comes calling, you got to ask yourself. And that was Zach's point. Is this person trying to write a hit piece on me or a puff piece? And you have to decide on that basis what you're going to do. And if they're calling you up as a gamer to talk about why gamers are angry, it's a hit piece, bro. It's say no. And recording it and playing it, well, that's not a bad idea, but I don't know. You better have Boogie style reach, or Jeremy Hambley's got like, what, 550,000 subs now. Like, you know, you better have some pretty monstrous fucking reach to get the raw footage of that recording that you made out there. If they've got a wider reach than you, they could smear the fuck out of you and you won't even know what hit you. You know,
there've been a couple of them where it was somebody smaller, but they were smart enough to reach out to Paul Joseph Watson, a Keemstar. It's somebody where you can get it back out there bigger. And those guys love that kind of stuff, because they've all been fucked in the press, you know. So if you are a smaller person and that happens to you, reach out to somebody like Keemstar would be the first one I went to if I had something like that.
Yeah, you go to the drama channel.
Fuck yeah, man. But Boogie, man, I get it. You should have known better. You should have known better.
Well, he's not that bright. Let's be honest.
He's
He makes a lot of poor decisions.
And
he's naive as fuck.
Yeah.
Let's also realize that news entertainers, i.e. journalists, are very, very good at what they do as a group. You think when they call you up that they're saying, so we're gonna write this story about why gamers are angry and blah blah. No, man, they candy code it. Well, they hand it to you on a silk pillow. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a hit piece. They're very good at doing it.
I get that, but from what he said, he knew that it was going to be an article about why there's angry content about gaming on YouTube. That there should have been like, ding, 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 red flag.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he should be suspect of any reporter at this point. Anybody that's on YouTube, if a media personality contacts you and wants to interview you, you have to be a little suspect because of all the hit pieces that have come out in the last 4 or 5 years. And I live in a one-person state, so I would record the conversation anyway, just for backup. You don't need permission in a one-person state. It's the two-party state that you have to get permission, and then they'll likely just say no. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like the guy. I think he makes incredibly poor decisions. And you said some people are looking for a fence. He's looking for a fence to sit on. So I think he tries too hard in that respect to be like
absolutely
the mediator, and it ends up biting him in the ass, and which in turn bites everyone else in the ass, because when they damage somebody as large as him, the smaller people get damaged too.
You're right. And in that article, I mean, that fucking asshole who wrote it, he went after people's advertisers. He did that using his fucking article that he wrote to get people to take money from people. Boogie, you should have known better, period. Stop trying to be that guy, because you're right. He's the kind of guy. What was the name of that non sequitur show? You watch that stuff, right, Polly?
What's that?
The non sequitur show, all of that shit that blew up that we were told about. You watched that the stream where the two guys were on it talking about what happened, and there was that third guy being a moron in the background. So what happened is you had the one guy who's like, we made a deal, 50-50 partnership. And you have this other guy who goes, yeah, we made a deal, 50-50 partnership. And there's this third guy there who I don't know why he was there at all anyway. Yeah, Steve and Kyle were the main guys. Thank you, Peter. And then the other guy's like Red or something like that. And Red keeps interrupting, trying to be Boogie. Like he's like, oh, calm down there. Steve's the one that got ripped off. Yeah. Calm down, Steve. Calm down. You shouldn't be mad that he stole all your money. Let's talk about this.
That guy, it was hosted on his channel. That's why he was interjecting. He was supposed to be mediating. And he's a panelist on their show a lot, apparently.
He was annoying as fuck. Yeah. And this is a situation where there was a clear right and wrong. I don't care who you are. There was a clear right and wrong. We made a deal. Yes, we did. You broke that deal. I don't give a fuck. I'm not, I'm still screwing you. And this other guy, calm down, guys. We should be able to talk this out. No. You're a thief. Give him his fucking money. That's all there is to it. There is no fence there. But yeah, that's who Boogie is. He's that guy looking for that fence. You're absolutely right. Sometimes there is no fence. And when you're dealing with the press, fuck, there's no fence, man. Anyhow, I do think that's where we're going to wrap it up, unless you guys have something else you want to chat about.
Not particularly.
We could talk about how hot roaming millennial is for a while.
I feel uncomfortable doing that because I know her and consider her a friend.
Okay.
I mean, she is a very beautiful woman. If you want to objectify her, feel free. I'm not going to stop you.
I can do that in private. It's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
Oh, okay. That just sounded nasty.
Yeah, it should. That was the point.
Oh God, I was about to say something horrible. He's going to be thinking about her being mommy later. Anyway, chat guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us, listening to this ridiculous shit. Don't forget, there is a t-shirt store. See, this is why I don't do it, Jack. I can't shill worth a fuck. I made Polly do it because I can't.
Monkey has a Teespring.
I have a Teespring store down below where you can get shirts, and there's also a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel long term, or there's a Streamlabs. Don't forget to hit that up now and then. which many of you did tonight. And I cannot tell you how thankful I am for the donations you guys sent through Streamlabs and the super chats. You guys are amazing. And I love you for it because, yeah, this is my job. Polly, is there anything you'd like to shill tonight?
Oh, just my channel. You can find the link right there in chat. Yeah, the first of that video where Weibo Jones and myself talk about hot ladies in the MCU, or count down the hottest ladies in the MCU. That should be up tomorrow. Other than that, Jack, Inquisitor, and myself do Comic Book Curation Live every Wednesday, where we talk about comic books and pop culture and movies and all this stuff in and around it. And Monkey has invited himself on, so we can look forward to that and see if he can beat Scribe, because Scribe's now topped him.
Yeah, fuck that. We're gonna fix that. That's some bullshit. Yeah, go watch the channel, guys. It is really good stuff, and help the channel grow. Don't do it just because I tell you to. Actually, go watch it. It's good entertainment. And Jack, anything you'd like to show?
Just my channel is, of course, Bad Comic Reviews, and there's the link. Yep, that's it.
And again, I love your channel too, Jack. His comic book reviews, guys, they're not like this shit you see where somebody drags it out for 20 minutes repeating the same shit over and over. He tells you about the book, tells you whether or not he likes it, and then it's over. Watch it. It's really good stuff.
Hey, my symbiote Spider-Man review was 15 minutes and it was fine. I also gave a history of the symbiote suit and everything. It's just, but yeah, you unintentionally did it and it hurt.
Fuck you. I was talking about people who drag it out purposefully, not people who have an actual video. You didn't repeat yourself over and over, did you?
No, I edited all that out when I repeated myself.
There you go. So I wasn't talking about you.
Okay.
Damn midget. I should have said overly sensitive midget, since that's what we were talking about this morning. Oh, guys. Tonight we're on my channel, 9 p.m. Eastern for Lords of the Night. Then over on 2 Cents Plus for some gaming. Also, don't forget, if you guys would like to take this on the go, I am on SoundCloud. I'm not putting all of these up over there, but I'm putting most of them up. It depends on whether or not I think it makes a good podcast. And I think this one did. So it's going to go up as episode 5, I believe. But chat, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Polly, Jack, always a good time. Everybody, have a wonderful Saturday, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.